Hi guys, my name is Kirsty. Welcome back to Upside Down Books. Today we're going to be looking at March and everything that I read during the last month. Unfortunately, it was really not that much. I was rather disappointed in my efforts in March, in all honesty. I mean, I gave it my best shot, but I started off on a bad foot. I ended up DNFing 2 books at the end of February, and it put me in a massive slump, so it took me ages to get out of it. So I only read 3 books last month, and I enjoyed 2 of them. The first one I wasn't super keen on. Well, it wasn't bad, but we will discuss that literally right now. So the first book that I read in March was Always and Forever, Lara by Jenny Han, which is the 3rd, final and concluding book to the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. Now, I just think I've outgrown this series, in all honesty. I'm really enjoying the Netflix series, and I think they're doing a fantastic job of recreating this as movies, but the books slowly went downhill for me. I loved the first one, I really enjoyed the second one, but this was such a major rehashing of everything that happened in book 2 that I just felt a bit superfluous, in all honesty. There are obviously very big differences between book 2 and book 3, but overall I wasn't really blown away. This was a bit of a slog for me to get through, in all honesty, although I have left it on a rating of 3 out of 5 stars. I kind of want to rate it 2 out of 5 stars, but I just can't quite bring myself to rate a Jenny Han book 2 stars, so maybe I'll change that in the future, but right now I am going to leave it at the 3 stars and just say, look, it wasn't awful, but I don't think this was particularly inspiring either. The second book that I read was actually an audiobook, and that was John Cleese's memoirs, So Anyway, and these were absolutely brilliant. John Cleese is hilarious, and having read several other comedians' memoirs previously and knowing that I absolutely love reading comedians' memoirs, I thought I would give John Cleese a go. It's quite a short memoir. It's only about 8 hours long when you're listening via the audiobook, and it's obviously narrated by John Cleese himself. I found it really funny because he has such an unusual laugh. I couldn't tell if he was laughing at his own jokes or if he was having breathing problems at certain parts. It was very strange, but this was super insightful into his life and learning more about him and how he got to where he is. And I found it really interesting to draw parallels between his experience and Stephen Fry's experience, who is probably one of my most revered actors. I just love Stephen Fry and I can't stop reading anything that he writes. So this was a big thumbs up for me. It was a 4 out of 5 star read, and I'd almost love to know more. These felt way too brief for all the interesting things that Cleese has done, so I'm surprised that he hasn't also got multiple memoirs like people such as Stephen Fry. Which brings me to my final book that I read in March. This is going to be a very short and sweet wrap-up, and that is The Woman Who Rides Like a Man by Tamora Pierce. This is the 3rd book in the Alana quartet, the Song of the Lioness quartet, which follows the character Alana. I have no idea if this fits into any of Pierce's other universes. I've not read any of her other stuff. This is my first dalliance into her writing, and I love it. Her writing is so engaging and the characters are really, really fun, and I like how weirdly this comes across as so innocent, but it's definitely young adult. There are many references to sex and with Alana sleeping with other men throughout the story, even though this, I have always felt, has been labelled as like children's fiction or middle grade fiction, but definitely as the series goes on it ages up with the reader itself. So I think I've only got 1 or 2 more books. No, just 1 more book in this series to go now, so then hopefully if I can get around to that later this year, I'll have actually finished another series, and that is awesome and putting me on track for at least 1 of my reading goals. This was a 4 out of 5 star read for me, and if you don't know what this is about, if you're also late to the bandwagon like me, this is basically Ranger's Apprentice for women, and if you don't know what Ranger's Apprentice is, then I'm sorry to say you've missed out on quite a lot. So if we're looking at reading goals and how that's tracking, it's not so great. I'm about 9 to 10 books behind on my reading schedule thanks to 2 abysmal months of reading. Will I catch up? Probably not, but that's for a reading goal of 95, 96, 97 books, which I never, on all honesty, expected to meet. However, if I did catch up on it, that would be amazing. I'm trying very hard day by day to squeeze in listening to my audiobooks whilst doing other things and just picking up the pace and reading really good books. And I think so far in April, when I'm filming this, I've done a reasonable job of picking books that I've actually enjoyed and have got me in the mood for reading. So I'm hoping that I will at the very least read more than 3 books in April so that I can maybe hit 90. I'd still like to hit 90 books. I really want to either beat my personal best or do as well as my personal best, which is somewhere between 83 or 86 books. I can't remember off the top of my head. Some of the other reading goals that I had was to finish series off, so that was a big tick, finishing off the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy. Yeah, so my 3 goals, I couldn't remember my third goal. My third goal is to read recommendations. So is to hit the 95 books, which possibly isn't going to happen, and to finish or make progress in series, which I'm definitely doing, which is a big plus. And the third thing is to read recommendations. So these are presents, gifts, or literally just recommendations. So Alana, the Song of the Quartet was a Christmas present, and it's also a recommendation of it's like a compound issue actually. I got the bind-up of the first 2 books for my birthday or for Christmas from my best friend a few years ago, or a year ago, and then for this Christmas I asked my parents for the box set, which is the edition that I've just showed you. So I have definitely ticked that box for reading a recommendation there, but other than that, given that I only read 3 books in March anyway, I'm not expecting to have done a lot of progress towards that. I do feel that on the whole I am doing a good job in attending to this particular challenge, and trying to do 1 or 2 books per month that are from my Christmas haul, and I usually try and pick up the pace as it gets towards my birthday, which is the very end of May, because I am likely to receive another haul then. So I'm going to say I'm doing okay, given that I'm very busy and clearly not getting a lot of time to read, and I'm just going to cross my fingers that I managed to avoid books that put me in a reading slump like the 2 books I DNF'd previously, and that I avoid having any more really slow reading months like March. So that is all I have to say for today. If you've read any of these books, I'd love to hear your thoughts below, so let me know. But other than that, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.